Hi, Randall. I just thought since we're not communicating well in just text chat, I'd make a quick video to show you a couple of things that might help explain your confusion away on this EMP proton situation. So first up, you've been talking about how you can't see how long a missile lock-on is in your hangar. So here you can obviously see a proton torpedo has a lock-on time of 2.1 seconds. It's I can't really go there with my mouse, but you can see it right here. When the window appears, the lock-on is 2.1 seconds, and for an EMP missile, it's 1.5 seconds, and the range is 7,700 on an EMP missile, and it's 15 or 11,500 for the proton torpedo. If you don't have this tooltip, all you have to do is hit Preferences, go to Starfighter, and just click this Show Detailed Starfighter Tooltip. Because if it's off, then when you go to your hangar, you're going to see this, which is probably what you're seeing right now, which is not the detailed tooltip at all. And it'll be like that for all of your weapons, including your lasers. So yeah, just make sure that you have this Show Detailed Starfighter Tooltips activated. And then you'll be able to see all the stats on the missiles, as well as the lasers and whatnot. Okay? Alright, so in your video, he starts locking the first missile on you, which is obviously an EMP missile. He's at about 5,600 meters away when he starts locking the EMP missile, and you're heading down towards the satellite, right? And so it takes 1.5 seconds for him to lock this missile on and release it. Then he presses 1, switches immediately to the proton torpedo, and begins locking on the proton torpedo. And it takes 2.1 seconds to finish this. You can see in your targeting computer, he stays well within 11,500 range by the time that it would take to lock this on. That's very obvious. What's not obvious, and what new players can get confused, is that while the EMP missile is traveling from his ship to your ship, while it's in the air, like it's in flight, he can be locking on another missile, and you don't hear that locking on tone, because all you hear is the tone for the missile traveling towards you. Like the warning, there's a missile in flight tone, right? And because the EMP missile takes longer than 2.1 seconds to travel from his ship to yours, once the EMP missile hits, there's already a proton in flight, so the tone doesn't change at all, because the EMP hits you and there's still another missile in flight, so the tone just keeps telling you, hey, there's still another missile in flight. Now, proton torpedoes and EMP missiles both completely ignore shields. They don't deal damage to shields at all. They only deal hull damage. More than that, they both completely ignore the damage reduction stat. So if you hit launch, and you go to your ship down here, and you see this hull stat, and then you see a damage reduction stat, damage reduction doesn't apply to these weapons because they have armor penetration. Do you see how it says armor piercing 100 on the proton torpedo, and shield piercing 100? And if we look at EMP, it says the same thing, shield piercing 100% and armor piercing 100%. That means that it ignores shields, and it ignores damage reduction as a stat. Alright, now, if you don't have these lock-on times, it's likely because of this magazine here. This magazine is a new magazine that was added in patch 5.5, where they made a lot of changes to Starfighter. I'm going to link you to those patch notes in case you haven't seen these patch notes and don't know about all the changes as well when I link you this video. Actually, I'll just put it in the description of this video. Alright, so what this does is it lowers the lock-on time of your missiles even further. So if you didn't have this, right, I disequipped it, then EMP missile would be 1.7 lock-on time, and proton would be 2.4. But once you add the efficient targeting, which is what you want to do on a Quell, this EMP proton build is what I recommend to all new players, because it is very easy to get kills with, because you ignore shields, you ignore damage reduction, it's got 2 missiles, most players only have 1 missile break. It's very easy to land these abilities on players. So you fire this EMP, and if they use their missile break, like say barrel roll, then you immediately switch to proton and proton them. And proton just deals a tremendous amount of straight to hull damage. And that's the whole idea of this build. So I hope that helps explain what's going on. And if you have any more questions, please feel free to ask. I'll do my best to answer them in text, but if I need to do another video, I can try to do that. Alright, thanks for your time.